During a nationally televised legal panel, Chief Justice John Roberts unexpectedly took a pointed jab at Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's educational background, sneering, "Perhaps if you had attended a more distinguished law school, your arguments wouldn't be so flawed." The room fell into stunned silence. But Crockett didn't flinch. With calm precision, she leaned forward and replied, "With all due respect, Chief Justice, it's not the name on the diploma that defines a legal mind. It's the depth of understanding and the courage to use it." She then launched into a meticulous breakdown of a recent Supreme Court ruling, citing precedent after precedent, flawlessly connecting constitutional principles to real-world justice. Legal experts on the panel watched in disbelief as Roberts, visibly uncomfortable, struggled to respond. Within moments, hashtags like #CrockettClapback and #RobertsOwn trended online, and commentators from both sides of the aisle praised Crockett for turning an attempted insult into a moment of brilliance. It wasn't just a defense of her degree. It was a defense of every underestimated voice in the legal world. As the cameras continued to roll, the atmosphere in the studio shifted from tension to admiration. One legal analyst, previously critical of Crockett's views, muttered off mic, "That was Supreme Court-level argumentation." Roberts, sensing the growing support in the room for Crockett, attempted to regain control of the conversation. "Let's keep this civil," he said tersely, but his earlier smugness had vanished. Crockett, unfazed, turned back to the panel and said, "Civility begins with respect. You questioned my education. I simply reminded you that intellect isn't reserved for the Ivy League." Her words echoed across the room and into millions of living rooms across America. Twitter and news channels erupted with commentary. MSNBC called it a legal schooling of epic proportions, while even conservative outlets admitted Crockett had stood her ground with masterful composure. Law professors began sharing clips of the exchange in classrooms, calling it a modern example of poise under pressure. Later in the segment, when Roberts tried to steer the debate toward constitutional interpretation, Crockett smoothly anticipated his angle and quoted Marbury v. Madison, turning his own logic against him. "If judicial review is the cornerstone of our system," she said coolly, "then the courts must be held to the same intellectual standard they demand of others. That standard includes humility." By the end of the broadcast, the panel's moderator thanked Crockett for reminding us that integrity and knowledge can't be ranked by university prestige. Roberts offered a brief, forced smile, but it was clear to all. Crockett had not only defended her degree, she had elevated it.